Do you feel like a matted, tangled spool of string in the back of the junk drawer? These Amazon titles might be just what you need to unwind. You can view all of my Amazon titles via my website. Right here. Or you can click on them individually from my link tree. Energy Form's coloring book features whimsical images based on energy work and sacred geometry. Draco Form's coloring book features fantasy images related to dinosaurs and dragons. Lantern Poetry Book features intense themes that parallel the dark night of the soul. It is available in paperback or in Kindle format. Thanks for relaxing with me. The video you came here to watch starts now.
Welcome to CATtheMinion Patreon. This is your monthly love reading. I don't know why stuff over there has to make noise all of a sudden, but I'm free of the headset right now, so if you can hear the wind turbine that is the box fan, I apologize, but it is very moist here tonight as we have rain without clearing the air entirely. And I'm kind of like jacked up right now. I watched Hairspray, the 1988 movie. Loved it. Awesome. Epic. Had myself a little mini dance party, and I am covered in happy sweat, which is a new thing for me. I was like in the middle of my little party, and I was like, damn, Richard Simmons was right. Sweating to the oldies is amazing. So anyway, circulation. Oh, love that. It was so good. Absolutely perfect. John Waters is a genius. Okay. Well, I'm in a great mood right now, so hopefully the love reading will go alright. I've got the Morgan Greer Tarot here. This is my... Actually, both of these decks are modified. I trimmed this one. Do not recommend doing that to the Aquarian Tarot. I regret it, but once you cut one, you gotta cut them all. So, the Aquarian Tarot, trimmed a few millimeters of the white edge off the side, and had to go back in with the Sharpie to touch up the edges and stuff. And the Morgan Greer Tarot, my customized deck with Sharpie backs. If you want to do if you have this tarot and you want to color it in, highly recommend, but it's going to take a while. It took me like 5 days to do this because there are 78 cards. So if you want to do your coloring meditation project for, you know, chiming in on a mental health break, you know, this would be the project to do that for. So, even if I'm, you know, painting my nails or gluing my headphones back together, you could still color a deck in or do the edges or trim it or whatever. So I did clear and shuffle these already, but because Patreon community is a paid situation, I will be shuffling these more and dealing them out on camera. On my free YouTubes, I don't often do that just because it takes more time to post all the segments together. It's not really an issue on the lives, but... Oh, I already cleared that. What am I doing? I do have a video on my YouTube about how I clear decks. I don't like to say my thing on camera because I like to keep that part of my energy personal. But I do give sort of a generalization, come up with your own little sayings to clear the deck. But I like to smack them together. I don't do that, like, separating into 3 stacks thing, because I don't really like to. I also don't do Celtic Cross. I didn't learn on it, so it's kind of weird for me. I did do a Celtic Cross once. Somebody asked me to check their work on a photo of their spread, and I was happy to oblige. And I had to look up the Celtic cross, but the thing is, depending on who you look at, the crossy bit can be different. Basically, it's just rotating where the card placements are. What is that rattling? Dude! Oh, okay. My pins were knocking again. I had to, the pins on my... The pins over here on my little hanky were knocking against the giant clipboard and generally making a racket. So, alright. Forgot to warn people that I was moving the camera. So I've got 2/3 battery and a couple of decks here. Now the yin-yang relationship check-in is shorter than some of the other readings, but I was feeling this one. Also because I'm trying to catch up here, this is my first installment populating the tiers, and I wanted to finish before the end of the month. So, why am I still shuffling? I'm gonna make this grid here, and then I'm gonna read the cards. Oh, still feel like jumping around. Oop, here we go. That one's gonna stay sideways. Oop, that one's gonna stay that way. It's gonna mess up the look of the yin-yang, but we're not... Oop. I'm gonna leave that one up. Alright. This one stays over here. I'm gonna adjust the camera in a minute once I get these out. I have to put this up here because I'm gonna run out of room. I also need to clean the table back there because it's getting dusty. Dusty Springfield. Okay. What is... No, that's the turtles. Dusty Springfield. You don't have to say you love me. It's not just because you can, is it? You don't have to say. Just be close at hand. You don't have to stay forever. Is it I Will Understand? I used to play that on the piano. We had a piano for a while because somebody left it here. It was like out of tune, but I tried to learn on it. Then I had a keyboard for a while. Long cards. Whoever is on the Aquarian Tarot side is being... This one go over here. Who's ever on the Aquarian Tarot side is... I thought that was a double, but it's just one. Trying to keep things in. All up in the head space. Okay, so the way that this works, remove the camera, hold on to your lunch. I'm gonna have to change the battery before the next segment of this. So, I'll probably do that after I talk about the spread here for a second, just so we don't run out of battery, but that looks pretty crappy. But anyway, the way that this works is that, you know, white half, black half, however you want to do it, and then there's always a spot of one in the other with the yin-yang. And this is going to be from the bottom of the deck. So when I flip these over, and we get the bottom of the deck, this is the crossover card. But because the decks take up a lot of space and you can't always see it when the camera's over there, I'm just going to take the rest of the pile out of the way. So let me move the camera back. Oh man, now I've got Dusty Springfield screaming in my ear. There's like, I think I have 2 Dusty Springfield songs actually in my collection. 10 of Swords, man. Oh, I also need my cheat sheet, which is now underneath the coloring stuff. Where the hell? I am spicy tonight. Okay. I'm like... I finished my emotional meltdown from that I didn't get to finish last Friday, like earlier this evening, and then I was like, eh. And then I got excited because Hairspray was so kick-ass, and now I'm like fucking rapid cycling and shit. I'm like, hyperactive. Okay. I need a Tums. Hold on. I'm going to turn this off and get a Tums, and I'm going to change the battery and start another segment. So when I start talking, the camera won't just take a nap. Okay, so I've got the battery changed. I was thinking while I was changing the battery that I don't think I've like joyfully danced, partly because I get like weird about it and I don't know what to do with my feet, and then I feel like because of being chonky, like somebody's gonna yell at me for making noise, and also like the chronic pain and injuries and stuff. But it's like the last time I enjoyed dancing and was like happy sweat with it, that I remember, although probably sweaty, but like a wedding in like 8 years ago on Halloween. Now granted, I was drinking, you know, I had gotten pretty toasty on whatever, probably Guinness or something, but to be fair, they were playing electro swing, and that kind of, like, it's hard to sit down when that's playing. Okay. This may seem like irrelevant nonsense, but it usually plays into the reading. And also Dusty Springfield keeps screaming in my head. Especially the believe me part. Believe me. Okay. I should probably flip these over. Now, these decks do kind of look similar, but we can tell now that these are smaller and there's more outline and lighter colors. So let's flip over on this side. Usually, you should be able to tell which one you are in this love relationship. So we have... This is going to be a little bit dark because I don't feel like turning on the other light. 10 of Cups. Sideways. It almost looks like someone's trying to force someone else's cup to spill out, but there is like a joint thing here. Like I'm making it rain. But it's not really monetarily, it's happiness, right? My cup runneth over, which is kind of like me bouncing off the goddamn walls right now. For example, happy together. How is the weather? Sunny, motherfucker. So this one that was already open. Okay. The 9. I almost said it really wants to be the Knight. The 9 of Wands. Stuck in a rut. Holding the fort. Maintaining the blockage. Ooh, that sounds like constipation. Whatever. Stick jammed up your butt. The inverted, it's 11. Because, you know, XI, it's like 11. Really wanting to be the Knight, but managing only to be in this sort of page. Like I've turned the page. I'm turning over a new leaf. Like I'm not going to stand here and let people tell me what to do that blocks me anymore. Like, screw you guys. Let me get my voice. Screw you guys. I'm your home. Screw you guys. Him. This guy right here. Oh, and then this, like, if it makes you happy, it can't be that bad. This was tilted, so it wasn't quite upright. And it's the Lovers, but it's coming in inverted. But it's not, it's like, the way that it's rotating counterclockwise, which is giving me, like, if I could turn back time. Take back those words that I heard you say. Share. Share with your friends. Ooh, this is making me think of, the end of September. So, like, ooh, that's only a month away. Ooh, 10, like 9, 10, 11. 9, 10, and then trying to be 11. Lovers is 6, but that's just this year. 2, 2, 2, 6, and 0, 6. Gemini energy, which just moved into somewhere. Wait, Mars and Gemini? Yeah, Mars and Gemini. Right now. But this is saying, well, actually, fallback isn't until Halloween now because they changed it. Oh, and I just said the wedding in 2014. That was on Halloween. Yeah, we're looking at some, like, it's sort of like making a move at the equinox, which is supposed to be like when it should be when the time changes and it's fallback, right? If I could turn back time, get an extra hour of sleep, which would be this. Like, stick a fork in me, I'm done, I'm taking a nap. Like, you got him. But then over here, the crossover card is the Eight of Swords inverted. This is the I Want to Break Free card. And there's also, and I Want to Break Free, there's this whole part like I've fallen in love for the first time. This time I know it's for real. But it's also this other part of the story, which is I want to break free from your lies. You're so self-satisfied, I don't need you. This is sort of a self-made prison, usually, sort of like, psyched myself out. The psych out. Been psyched out, and you're going down. Something no talent, something no class clown. I like that song, it's kick-ass. Super Suckers. But inverted, it's I've let go, I've, taken the toilet paper off my eyes, I've, undone this crappily tied knot. This isn't, what's that Japanese word for, artistic bondage? I don't remember. It's not that. It's, somebody tied a half-assed knot and you're just pretending that you couldn't get out. Ten of Swords inverted. Ooh, that's the sun. Yeah, the sun in Gemini. What's the 8? That's probably Gemini too. Jupiter in Gemini. What? Where's that? Jupiter in Aries. Retrograde. And then Mars. Gemini. So this is the retrograde energy getting pulled on, but this is the sun. The sun energy inverted is the moon. Not quite sure what that means yet. Oh, so bouncy. Okay. Ace of Rods inverted. Put it away, man. It's got a shelf life. This always reminds me of the end of Yellow Submarine, when the movie's over and it's all happy, and right when It's Too Much starts, it sounds like George is, sounds like George is saying, like, "Tee 'em up," and I don't know what that means, but it's all too much for me to take. The love is shining all around. So, wait. All the world is birthday cake, could take a piece, but not too much. I don't know if those lyrics are right next to each other, but that's what I'm remembering. The world is... The love is shining all around you. All the world is birthday cake, but take a piece, but not too much. Okay. This is like radio tower down a little bit, but also like wah, wah. Like it's like I've lost my boner a little bit. Like something is like boner kill. Three of Pentacles inverted. Now notice how similar these shapes look. Phallic, spreading out 3 sections, and a rod in the middle. Three of Pentacles is what, in Capricorn? Mars in Capricorn, so there's that Martian energy again. This is breakdown. Give me Ozzy, like, break down and cry. Whatever. Something on No Rest for the Wicked, I think. Okay. 1 and 3 is 4, times 2 is 8. So it's different. So what's this crooked one? The Emperor. So a number 4. 4 and 8. But sideways. Oh, I don't know if I should repeat what I just heard. What movie is that from? Might be from The Shadow. I don't think so. I don't think they would have said that then. Anyway. I just heard "suck me sideways." It was an insult in a movie, but I can't remember which one. Somebody, like, with an accent said it, and, like, whatever. So I watched a lot of movies in the 90s, so they kind of all run together. The Emperor is Aries energy. More Mars energy. And he's sort of following that counterclockwise movement, but he's not going backward. Well, maybe he might be going backwards a little bit, but in general, you should think he'd be going clockwise. It's like, I'm not going back. It looks like he's carrying, like a disposable razor. I know that's not what it's supposed to be, but that's kind of what it looks like to me. It also matches this shit again, too. Right? His rod is upright this time. Slinging over his shoulder. Really crass, but that's how it happens. Like, sometimes. Sometimes it's crass, but that's fine. What's weird is that there isn't really a lot of feminine energy in here. I mean, this has usually got a feminine on it. But generally, the Lovers is really the only feminine energy here. And it's, like, balanced half. I mean, the Ten of Cups sort of half feminine. What's that? Pisces? Mars in Pisces, traditionally. So there's a duality there, but it's still Martian energy. So what's the T? What's the difference? I mean, to me, this seems like whoever's in the masculine energy, whether that's you or the other person. It doesn't matter what your gender or orientation or anything is. Like, typically someone's going to be in masculine energy more than the other person, and, you know, vice versa with the feminine energy. And it, you know, it could be like all the time, or for this lifetime, you know, just for this lifetime, or, you know, in terms of months or years, or it could just be for the duration of the reading. Someone's going to be sitting in the masculine energy with the Emperor. Kind of doing like this one or this one with like a, you know, like an applausometer, like using their dick as a pendulum to decide which person they want. And just taking charge of their own environment on every level, right? Because the Emperor rules all of the kingdoms. Is sort of, because I've got the Emperor, I've got 3 kingdoms here. The crossover is swords. What's the difference between them is the 9. There's sort of an anxiety point where these are meeting. The hidden thing is sort of ending some kind of a nightmare. But what's going on? I just heard we 3 kings. We 3 kings of Orient are. That's not really relevant, though. I mean, if there's a turnaround between equinox and Halloween, then maybe by Christmas and the end of the year, there'll be, you know, the situation will be where it needs to be. That's just in terms of timing, not in terms of holidays that people are celebrating. Because because December 25th is basically just sort of has to do with the solstice. So between equinox and solstice is sort of a turnaround for this situation. What was I going to say? So I've got the 3 kingdoms, and the one that's missing is cups. You know, like, using your dick as a pendulum to tell you who is fulfilling your heart, because you're not listening to your own voice. You're not listening to you're overthinking it, you're underthinking it, you're overpowering your heart with thoughts. Maybe you've been thinking with your dick too much. The blood's rushing to my head, but it's the wrong one. But this is sort of the turning point here, because there is this idea of breaking free and sort of trusting whatever. I mean, I feel like this red circle here should represent the heart chakra for some reason. And then this is still, you know, what fulfills you and sort of overloads the excitement circuit so that you can't possibly ignore it. You know, the physical body will tell you what your mental body is suppressing from the emotional standpoint. Because the key to happiness over here is with, like, for some reason, with this person who should be in the feminine energy, but is sort of avoiding it. Let me move the camera a little bit. So, why would this person be avoiding the feminine energy? Well, if their feminine energy is not being received, you know, you could tell that you're not wanted here. Like, oh, if there's no... I just heard that song, Hanky Panky. If there's no Hanky Panky, like, why am I even here? Like, I'll just go, like, wander in the desert. You know, it's like, I'm not going to I'm not gonna wait here for you to pick over, like, every single thought ever you've had, for you to have, like, a dozen other relationships, right? It's like, why am I here being sad that you're with someone else and another person and all these other people, notching up your bedpost, when I don't have to be waiting for you? And I think this is why this Lovers is in reverse. No love is sorrow by the Pentacle. You know, it's like, if it's not there, then why should I try? Why should I look towards it? I'm looking away from it. I'm like, alright, I'm not gonna keep, you know, I'm not gonna wait forever. I'm just gonna, like, you know, fuck off somewhere. I'm going to go to sunnier climes. I'm going to seek more clement weather. But these things are moving. There's movement here. And what happens when basically what happens when the weather changes? It becomes fall. The leaves turn color. Right? The leaves feed into here. You know, and it's not to say, like, oh, you should wait for somebody forever if they never show interest in you. But there's a certain thing going on in this relationship where, you know, the thinking of each other... Let me move this back a little bit. The thinking involved, the perception, it's like, why am I perceiving this as, like, yes, connection, there's like an ongoing communication of some sort, but it's sort of blocked. The heart chakra is blocked over here, and on this side there's no manifestation. Cups, swords, wands, no manifestation. It's making me think, I'm hearing The Love Inside, which is a song by Barbara Streisand on the Guilty album with Barry Gibb. I can't remember the lyrics right now, but it's The Love Inside. No, and it's not being accessed if you're not seeing it. It seems like the burden of love is over here. It's like, why am I holding on to this? But it's like, if you're the only one holding on to it, then why are you suffering the whole burden of it? It's, you know, you might know in your core that it's supposed to be something that's happening. But if the other person is avoiding it, then at this time right now, they're not your person. Maybe in a past life, maybe 6 months ago, maybe 5 years ago. Maybe in a passing conversation, even if it hasn't manifested. I mean, here, the Three of Pentacles, yes, but it's like, what is the manifestation? The manifestation is that I'm not playing well with others. I don't want to build anything, right? I run away before people get too close, so I don't have to, like, I'm not writing their name in stone. I'm gonna, like, notch in the bedpost. Well, that's just wood. I'm not carving their name on my tomb. But in order to enter this Emperor energy with permanence, you have to recognize what actually is the fulfillment of the heart. What makes your cup runneth over? Like, what is the cup? I mean, the cup is kind of in the sacral energy, but it's sort of this whole pipeline of those, the sacral, the solar, the heart. It's like an elliptical system. So I think that's the best way to describe what's going on here. It's, if you're in this position, it's up to you to, you know, take a break from carrying the whole relationship yourself. There has to be a give and take. If there's never anything for you to take, right, take a piece but not too much. But someone's just like, well, I don't want the cake, you can just, you know, carry the whole thing yourself. I'm not going to hold the other side of it and get it to the table so we can share it. You know, this is like, this is sort of like the fox in, is it the fox and the red hen? Or it's the little red hen. It's one of those stories. But anyway, the red hen is like, who's going to help me make this bread? Like, who's going to help me get the grains and bring all the stuff to market and have the baker make it for me? And so the hen comes back with this loaf of bread finally that she spent all this time gathering shit for and asking the guy to make for her. And they're like, oh, we'll help you eat the bread. And she's like, no way, motherfucker. Like, I did this all myself. And, you know, eats all the bread. But it's getting a little bit convoluted, but I don't know if that makes any sense. It's like, you know, what happens at the end of the day if you're stuffed to the gills sitting, you know, like that, it was like a meme of an opossum that got, I think it was in Australia, but it got, it got into the bakery and like ate into a box of donuts and like ate so many donuts that it got into like a sugar coma and like was just sitting in the box the next day. You know, it's like it's not really a healthy relationship if you're shouldering all of it yourself. You know, it's like you have to spread out the work, you have to spread out the sweetness, you have to spread out the manifestation and the like processing it, the digestion, the flow of the relationship, or it can sicken you. It's too burdensome. You know, it's like, well, I don't want any of that. I don't want to do the work, and I'm not going to get anything. And I'm not, and like all of these other people that each soared like a person, it's like another piece of tape over my eyes, because maybe all of these swords are identical, right? It's like indistinguishable from the next. But there's something different going on over here. Right? Each one has something the other one's lacking. I'm lacking the connection to the heart chakra, and I'm having trouble manifesting. If we combine our strengths and overcome the sort of pain and anxiety and, you know, thinking yourself out of it, and this sort of agony of the thinking, like, oh my god, like I may as well be buried, nobody's ever gonna want me, and, you know, what's the point if everything's the same? Well, you choose to be everything the same, and you choose to, you know, wait around when the other person isn't doing any work in the relationship. So this is it's sort of saying, like, it's not really saying cut your losses, it's stop feeding the same inputs into the function, because it's gonna spit out the same chunk of crap every time. It's like, either stop feeding it or put something else in the machine, and you might get something else out of this dysfunction. Alright? So that is the semi-hyper relationship rating for this tier for August. Alright, I'll just put my sign in the video so I don't feel weird. Alright, that's all the stuff. And, you know, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Well, don't share this to outside of Patreon, but, you know, share the YouTube in general, share the Patreon in general. You know, thank you for current donations, thank you for any tips and whatever. Stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.
CATtheMinion energy work is focused on building a community around creativity and connectivity. Connect to new friends, the universe, and yourself. Shift your perspective of everyday life. Alleviate the stresses of daily life by tapping into self-expression. Help me build my offerings around your needs by investing, interacting, and brainstorming new things we can do. Your financial contributions via donations, purchases of goods and services, and participation on Patreon allow me to pay mundane bills, upgrade to better interactive services, services and equipment and to buy art supplies and materials. Additionally, your support helps me pay it forward to charities, other energy workers, and artists, and to gain more visibility so our community can reach even more who need it. You can find a number of the goods and services I offer by clicking the links from my website, CATtheMinion.wordpress.com, or from my link tree, depending on your preference, linktr.ee/CATtheMinion. I'm offering original art pieces, digital downloads, art prints, merch, tarot readings, divination tools, templates, coloring books, a dark poetry book, YouTube content, self-care encouragement, and more.